Hello and welcome back. In this video, we'll be looking at Gnuplot. By the end of this video, you should know what Gnuplot is, how to install it, how to use Gnuplot to plot some basic math functions. Without wasting much time, let's get started. So what is Gnuplot? Gnuplot is a command-driven interactive plotting program that is used to generate two-dimensional and three-dimensional plots of functions, data, or data feeds. So basically, what this means is that Gnuplot uses some set of commands to generate these graphs. So you input some commands in your terminal and then you get the graphs you're interested in. So you can either run Gnuplot in interactive mode, where you type each command one after the other to see the output or the desired output that you want, or you write it together in a script and then run the script. So how do we install it? You do sudo apt update to update your packages, and then you do sudo apt-y upgrade to upgrade them if need be. And then when you are done, you run sudo apt install Gnuplot. So this installs Gnuplot for you. So let's check it. So all I have to do, I do sudo apt update to check my packages, and then I do sudo is done. I can clear it and do sudo apt-y upgrade to do any upgrades if needed. Upgrade. And then now I'm told there's no upgrade needed. Then I can do sudo apt install Gnuplot like this. When I hit enter, hopefully it should install. But here I already have Gnuplot installed, so it tells me that Gnuplot is the newest version installed. So you can now clear the screen and then continue using Gnuplot. Okay. So now to confirm that Gnuplot has been installed, you can do which Gnuplot, and then it tells you that you have Gnuplot running here, right? Which means that Gnuplot has been installed. The next thing is we look at how to run Gnuplot. To run Gnuplot, you just type Gnuplot here. If you don't give it any other arguments, it opens Gnuplot in interactive mode, or you can run Gnuplot, the name of the file, to execute some set of Gnuplot's command in that file and to process the output file that you are interested in. So you can do Gnuplot, then it opens up Gnuplot in interactive mode. So you can see here, I can just do Control L to clear the screen and then just run a certain simple command, plot sin x. And I hit enter. I see that my sin x has been plotted nicely for me. That is how we run Gnuplot in interactive mode. So here, I could exit this one, Control D to exit interactive mode. If I do ls, you can see that I have a certain file called that ends with .gp, right? Extension for Gnuplot. So I can decide to use Gnuplot to run this. What this file contains, if I cut the key, it just contains some set of commands that you use to plot some graph, a certain graph from a certain file, right? So I can clear and then use Gnuplot to run that file, to execute that file. I called it keep.gp. When I hit enter and I use display, right? Display, if I do enter, let's do ls and see. You see that now there's a new image file that has been generated. So I can do display keep.ry.gp. Then it should open up the image nicely for me here, right? So this is the graph that has been generated from the Gnuplot command I just executed. Control D to Control C to kill the process. Okay. So now that is how to run Gnuplot run it in interactive mode, you just type Gnuplot and then it opens up in interactive mode. Or use Gnuplot and then the file name to execute file names one after the other. Okay. So the next thing is how to run Gnuplot interactive mode. So we can use plots and then the function we are interested in plotting to plot that function as you saw earlier with the sign. You could also decide to plot several functions on the same graph sheet. So you do function 1, comma, function 2, comma, function 3 to plot all of these functions on the same graph. Or you can use Gnuplot to plot the name of a file that contains some data sets for us. So example is the sign X that you saw. Then now we can plot these 3 of them. So let's see how we go about it. If I do ls, you see that I have these files here. Let me cut my data. You see that this file has some values, some X and Y values actually. So let's see. So to run Gnuplot, let's run it interactively. I said we do Gnuplot. It opens up interactive mode. Control L to clear the screen. And then I can do plot sin X, comma, cos X. Like this. When I hit enter, I should see the 2 functions plotted nicely on each other for me. Or I could decide to, if you want to go back to your previous command, you can just do up to go back to the previous command, comma, then maybe tan X. Let me add a tan X to patterns. So now when you see the nice sign, cos and tan plotted nicely here for us. So obviously you can say that the tan is this one, the blue one or the cyan one here, then the cos and then the other ones like that. So basically that's how we run some inbuilt functions. We could also try to plot some quadratic functions. So x squared, so this is it. It uses a Python version of the squared, but then the math used is a C math. So plus maybe 2x, 2 star x. So if you want to isolate the commands, then maybe -2 or -1 or something like that. So we have this. And then when you hit enter, the plot should be generated. This is that plot for you. Nicely done, right? So you can just play around this guy. If you want to just generate only x squared graph, you have your x squared graph here. What about x to the power 4? Let's see. Okay, this is how it looks like. So you see, you can just use Gnuplot to quickly look at some of the graphs that you are interested in quickly. Okay. So Control L to clear the screen. That's how to use Gnuplot to plot some basic functions. But then we could also use Gnuplot to, plot some data files. So you saw in this one, I call my data. But then be careful. If I hit enter here, I'm told undefined variable my data, which means that it assumes that this is either a function, which obviously this is not, or a variable. So in order to run that, you have to tell Gnuplot that no, my data is a file by just enclosing them in quotations, double quotes, actually. So once you hit enter, now it sees this as a file and attempts to plot it. So I'm not sure you can see, but then there are some plus signs here that you can use to check the data set that has been generated, right? Okay. So basically, that's how we plot in interactive mode some basic functions and some of the data files in Gnuplot. So in the next video, we would look deeper into Gnuplot, look at how to set up our own canvas, use our own keys, set our own axis, and then plot some nice functions, join the points with lines if possible, change the colors and all these things. So if you learned from this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and share with your friends so that you could also watch and benefit from this video as well. We can't wait to see you in the next one. Thank you.